Everybody get up.
Good Monday morning, and you're listening to Sissy Fegel-Stoller on Sissy Social Circle. If you've just turned over to Whoop 99.9, I thank you for that. We've now been having the show for several months now, and I always try to bring interesting topics to the show and also interesting people. In the studio this morning, we have Sharon Button, all the way from Minnesota.
Yes, here I am.
And Laura Poulos. And she's originally from Minnesota, but she moved to the Chattanooga area about 4 or 5 years ago from Chicago. We also have Krista Henry.
Hey.
And she is our token Church of God girl in here.
Oh.
And Krista's parents have lived somewhat in the Cleveland area on and off because they were the Church of God International Ministries. And she is now in Appleton.
Correct.
But she lived for a while in Ohio, and so she's lived all around. But Krista gives us a good insight into the Church of God world.
That's right. PK, Church of God.
What is that?
Preacher's kid.
Preacher's kid. I love it. I love it. And just to give you a funny story, Laura had a child's birthday party at her house, and the kids got to decorate and draw and paint and whatnot. So all the kids are drawing things like Ninja Turtles and, Power Rangers. And her oldest son came up to us, and he had a picture of the cross with a bunch of red all over it. And I said, "Oh, Cole, what is that?" And he said, "Jesus Christ, he died on the cross for your sins."
That's right. That's my boy.
I said, "This kid is being taught right."
That's right.
He's testifying at the birthday party.
That's great.
He's already a witness. 8 years old, and he's witnessing everywhere.
That's good.
Forgot about that.
Do you remember that, Krista?
Yeah, I do. That was fun.
And the funny thing is, some of the moms said, "Oh my goodness, that's so graphic." And Krista, she was not fazed by it because this is her life, and it was just normal. It was normal.
Right. Yeah, it was good. I'm proud. I'm sure we have it somewhere. I'm sure I kept it.
I love it. Well, today we're going to cover a variety of hot topics and things that are in the news. And so we're just going to have girl talk. So if you've got a chance to grab a cup of coffee, go ahead and do so now, or don't. And so, so we're just going to have girl talk. So one thing that I wanted to talk about today, and at the end I'm going to end with a recipe I've got for you guys that I think would be quick and easy and somewhat impressive, depending on your crowd later, and it will be for the taco cupcakes.
Ooh.
I know, doesn't that sound impressive and gourmet?
Yes, it does.
Are they Pillsbury?
No, but you know what? I'll go ahead and give you the recipe because it's super duper easy. You take wonton wrappers, and so it's like the wonton dough.
Mm-hmm.
Wonton. And the interesting thing is they're refrigerated, but you don't find them in the refrigerated section. You would find them at in the produce section. I don't know why, but that's where they store it at every supermarket, and they're relatively inexpensive. So you just lay those in your muffin tins, in the little holes there. You just spread them out and go ahead and bake them for whatever is recommended. So it forms like a little cup for you. And you want to do this rather than putting your stuff in directly. Otherwise, your wonton wrappers are going to be mushy like the dough, because you put wet stuff on it. Okay. In the meantime, go ahead and cook whatever meat filling you do. For a vegetarian like me, I like to do black beans with the taco seasoning.
Oh.
My family doesn't prefer that, but it's all about me, not them. So, and I'm doing the cooking, so it's my choice. And so I fill the bottom with, you can fill it with your ground beef mixture, your taco mixture, your beef, and then just build from there. Salsa, your sour cream, your lettuce, tomatoes, top with the cheese, pop it back in the oven until the cheese is melted, and it comes out, and they're beautiful. Little brown cups with all of your stuff in it, and they're taco cupcakes.
Now that reminds me of the wonderful barbecue cups that I used to make for my children, and they would feed them to the dog.
That's why I asked if they were the Pillsbury.
Yeah, that's why she asked if it was Pillsbury, because, and this definitely is not. This sounds wonderful. We can make it for Bob. He's a vegetariarian.
Yes, Laura, the funny thing is, Laura's husband is Greek. I mean, comes from a big Greek family, pretty much, and very Greek.
Very Greek.
I mean,
very
Greek.
He said 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, we don't live in a White House with a,
They don't have a lot of gold.
My mother-in-law doesn't live right next door. But
I heard a comedian say, he was talking about being Greek, and he said, "We're the same as you. We just happen to like gold and marble a little more."
Right.
And I thought that was hysterical, but that's not Laura's house. But Laura's husband is Greek, and he's very Greek, and grew up in a family with lots of Greek men, all of his cousins. And he's a vegetarian by choice. He said he just never has liked meat.
No.
Yeah.
So he
About
eats
8th
lamb,
grade,
right?
He eats lamb.
From the movie.
His mother has no idea why he doesn't eat meat.
His mother has no idea.
She cooked it.
Did he ever as a kid?
I think until like 8th grade, and then around 8th grade, he just I don't know if something happened or he had bad meat. He just decided he didn't like it anymore. So,
well,
we try to think of some vegetarian.
Well, it's healthier because heart disease runs in his family.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So really, if you've got any heart conditions, going to a vegan diet or just simply vegetarian is really, really good for your health. So I always tell Laura that's a blessing in a lot of ways because it's best for him. It's healthiest.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I read recently where you actually can reverse with a vegan diet what's happened to your arteries.
Yeah, a great book is Forks Over Knives, and so I've read that a few months back, and it was very inspiring. And it's true, you can reverse the effects of cardiovascular disease with a vegan diet. Now, granted, I say that I don't have a medical background. I mean, I used to be a drug rep, so I mean that kind of counts, right? And Krista's husband is actually an ER doctor, and for a long time, I had no idea. We were friends a long time. I thought he worked at TVA, and so if I had known that, I certainly would have ask more questions or something. I'm going to hit up for some free health care.
That's right.
And I did tease her. I said that her husband is real quiet. And I said, I think next time I'm at your house, I'm going to ask him to come in the bathroom. I'm going to tell him I've got this growth right there on my breast. And could he look at it?
Nothing phases him.
He works at 2 different hospitals, and one mainly has a lot of geriatric patients, which is nice. He enjoys them. Another one, he gets a lot of drug seekers and sketchy folks, we might say.
Right.
And so he gets a good balance. He's not always with the sketchy people.
Right.
He gets the normal, and then he gets the not so normal.
You have to have a good sense of humor.
Yes.
I had a girl that was in a yoga class I was teaching the other day, and she said, and this is probably typical of the type of people he sees. And she said, you know, when I'm in plank or upward push-up, my arm hurts, my upper arm. And I said, oh, okay. I said, well, now does it hurt right here? She said, well, it hurts down here. You know, she pointed to her lower arm, and I said, okay, so it hurts on your lower arm? And she said, no, it hurts up on my upper arm. And I said, I think I'm going crazy. I think she is making me nuts. And I said, where did you say it hurts again? And she said, on my lower arm. I said, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought, is she playing mind games with me?
Maybe she thought you had something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should have acted like I had a third eye and said, I could see the pain elsewhere. In your head. Your crazy head. I sound like a real nice yoga instructor, don't I?
Right.
Yes.
Nobody's coming to my classes now. Well, I thought we would discuss a few hot topics today, and we'll go ahead and start. Looks may not be everything, but they sure do take up a lot of time. Women spend an average of 55 minutes per day on their appearance. That amounts to 6.5 hours a week, or about 2 whole weeks a year. In fact, women worry more about how they look than their finances. Holla, that's me. Health, relationships, or careers. The majority of women have complained about their appearance to someone else at least once in the past month. And almost half of, say, social media makes them extra self-conscious about how they look, with 60% having negative thoughts about their appearance every week. Of course, guys aren't entirely innocent of self-obsession. Men spend 4.5 hours a week on their looks. That's not my husband. I think he can shower and do it all in like 5 minutes. And 36% have negative thoughts about themselves weekly. Here's one thing men and women can agree on. Both sexes worry about their stomachs. Women's top appearance concerns are their skin, thighs, hair, cellulite, and butte, while for men it's their hair and skin. That's interesting.
It
What do y'all
is.
think about that?
It is.
Do you spend a lot of time on your appearance?
What did I say right before we came in here? That my hair is turning white.
Yes.
Is it really?
All of a
Yes.
sudden, the
Yeah.
last 4 weeks, I'm finding gray hairs.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm going to have to go up the ante and get my hair done
Spend some
every
time on it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, it's a lot to keep up with, too.
It is, especially when you have dark hair, you know, and you can see every gray hair, but I refuse to be white-headed. So my grandma was white by 30.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
So
Didn't know that.
it runs in the family. So I refuse. I'm right now. I've been plucking them out, but I'm afraid that I'll be bald.
Yeah.
So
I don't know that I do as much because my mother was somebody, and I'm in my mid-60s, that didn't believe that you should add anything to yourself other than what God gave you. So, and she was very strict. And so until I got in college, I really didn't experiment with a lot of makeup and that kind of thing. And I think the outcome of that, and I was lucky, I didn't really have to. There wasn't anything I had to really work at covering up and that sort of thing. But I think what it did do was probably allow me to, I will go out without makeup. It does not, even when I was young and growing up with children and that. I mean, if I were going to go to a meeting at the school or something, I certainly, made myself look presentable.
Right.
But I never really obsessed over it, I guess. I probably am more conscious of it now that I'm old.
Well,
to do
the
things.
interesting thing, I've been down to the Center for Facial Rejuvenation in Chattanooga.
Oh.
They do know me by name. But you go in one of those places and you really start to become self-conscious, and they can talk you into doing so many things that you wouldn't otherwise have thought about. And so it just takes one comment, and when I look at some of the women there, I mean, they have caterpillar eyelashes because they're using the lattice. So their eyelashes are a mile long, and it does not look normal. Humongo lips and absolutely flawless skin that doesn't move, and you can't tell.
Yeah.
You can't tell any expression on their face. So there's a fine line, I think, between you don't want to look fake,
right.
Yeah.
but
right.
you don't want to look normal.
Right.
I don't know what that is. Is that a non-invasive kind of face
The
roll?
lattice.
Yeah.
It's it's not that expensive, and it's like a topical thing. You just put it on the rim of your eyes, your eyelashes, and so within 4 to 6 weeks, you see a substantial difference in the length of your
But
eyelashes.
do they know the
Okay.
long-term effects of that? Like,
They
I don't
do
want
not.
to be
Yeah.
blind in
I
20
know.
years.
Yes.
Because I've got pretty
Yeah.
eyelashes, but I can't see anything.
Yeah.
That's what I would be worried about.
Yeah. Well, you have great eyelashes. Though.
Well, but those two are dwindling.
Well, at the end of yoga, when I finish with yoga, I go around and I give everybody a little temple massage and a little upward back massage, and I'm always surprised. I always think some of the people. I always think as you go around, you get a chance to look at them more because their eyes are closed. Laura's like, great.
I know. I
skip
never
over me.
like that part because I'm always thinking, oh, they're looking at my lines. Like, do they see these? And
No. Well, I kind of think more often. I think now they are so beautiful, and I know they probably haven't had anything done like Botox or anything, and I want to age gracefully like
Right.
that. But there's the fear that what if I don't? What if I
Right.
don't and I look
Right.
like an
Well,
old?
and there's so many options now. You almost feel like if you don't do them, you're missing out on something that, you know what I mean, could be really great. I mean, there's just so
Yeah.
many choices.
And-
I mean,
Yeah, and you go in one of those places too, and they offer sometimes advice that you're not really looking for. A few years ago, I had an esthetician that did my eyebrows, and afterwards she said, "Do you want me to take care of your mustache?"
Oh, yeah.
And I said, I didn't know I had one. And she said, "Well, you do." And so then I said, "Well, okay." I mean, like I really didn't think I had one, and so
I'm proud of my mustache.
I know I like my manly appearance. It sort of counteracts my breasts, and so counter effects. And so I had her do it, and so my lip was red for
Yeah.
I bet a day or so. So I went upstairs to my husband's office because at the time it was underneath Andy's office, and I went upstairs and I said, "Well, what do you think?" And he said, "What's the matter with you? Why do you look like that?" And I said, "Well, she took care of my mustache." And he said, "You didn't have one."
What?
I said, "You know what?" And I bet that's been 10 years ago. I still haven't forgotten it.
Did it come back
Deb-
thicker?
No, and I was asking everyone I worked
I was
with,
afraid-
"Do you think I've got a
right.
mustache? Do you think I had one?" And they're like, "No, we've never noticed anything."
Yeah.
I think it was maybe an upsell.
It is.
Oh.
Thank
And,
you every
Except
time
my
I get
mom gives me a
my
facial
eyebrows
twice
done.
a year at Christmas, and it's in summer. And every time I go, the woman is like just appalled when she looks at my face because like I have to get my eyebrows done, my lip waxed, my
Chin.
chin hairs, and she cannot wait to get it off. Like it kills her that I've been walking around like that for months, and I think she's actually made me more obsessed with not obsessed, but like I definitely notice more now in other people. I'll see them and I look at it because of her. Before that I never even noticed it until
she is a person. It's a wonderful facial because it's very relaxing, and she's kind of spiritual with it, and go to a place and you're breathing and all of that. But she is obsessed about facial hair. And there are times she'll tell me I need to have my cheeks done and my chin and just everything. Excuse me. And I finally have gotten to the point I just tell her, I do have a mustache. That I recognize. And but I can't see the rest of it. I can't see the facial hair. I can't see the chin hair.
I don't see anything.
So my brows and my lips.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. I did have it done right before it came down here. But there are some people that is really obsessed with that, and she really is. It's not even about an upsell. She just cannot stand facial hair.
Well, I hope I have some good friends that would let me know if I was sporting a stash.
Yeah.
When she also sold me this stuff the last time I was there, that was $100 a bottle, and it's supposed to have stuff that regenerates. It's some new product that's supposed to regenerate, something, fix your skin basically. Right. And I have been doing that. She said in about a month you'll start having people asking you, gosh, your skin looks so good. Like, what are you doing? And it's been 3 months, and not one person said anything.
Well, I was going to ask you.
Well, that's because she's probably in Minnesota, and she can't plant these people in your life.
Right, exactly.
Make sure if you want your cut of the $100, you go and say something to Laura.
Right.
That's right.
So I'm glad I was not on the renewal, like auto renewal of this product.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I'm going to keep using it for $100.
Well, and it's like when I started going to that facial place, they said, now what do you use on your skin? And I was a little embarrassed to tell them because I knew it sounded super cheesy. And I said, it's Cindy Crawford's Meaningful Beauty.
Do you like that? I just saw a commercial for that the other day.
Yeah, I'm liking it. I mean, I don't think I'm going to look like Cindy Crawford by any means. I don't have any high hopes. I have low expectations. And so, but I feel meaningfully beautiful when I use it.
There you go. Well, I noticed for years I just used Neutrogena cleaning just to clean my face because I like for it to be clean. I'm funny about have to have all my makeup off at night, and I would still have breakouts. And I'm hitting mid-30s now, and I thought, you know what, my mom's been telling me you need something, you're getting older, you need something with a little bit of a creamier moisture. Mm-hmm. So I thought I'm going to try. I love Clinique. I worked at Clinique for about 10 days one time. And
she got her free gift.
Yeah,
she got her free gift and she was done.
My Christmas gift. It was very nice. And I thought just about 6 months ago, I thought I'm going to try. They have a foaming moisturizing cleanser. I don't know. It's pink. Anyways, I bought it, and honest to Pete, I promise it has changed my face. I've not had breakouts.
Wow.
Completely. And it's just been changing my cleansers.
Yeah.
I don't know if it will, quit working in 6 months or, if sometimes they say you have to find something new.
Yeah.
But it's been great.
I found that, but a lot of people don't. I found that after a few months, even my shampoo and that, it's like I need to make a change. It just doesn't seem to be doing the same thing that it did before.
Yeah, I bought that that Wynn Healthcare the hair system from Chaz Wynn. You see the infomercials. Mm-hmm. I never watch TV, but when I do, I buy stuff. I mean, I bought the Tria hair removal system, and Andy said, "What the hell?" I mean, that was $400.
Yeah.
I said, "But we're saving money in the long run."
Have you told that story?
Yeah.
Yeah, the hair removal. I thought, you know what? I thought I'm going to multitask. I don't have to make an appointment with the esthetician for the laser hair removal.
Right.
I can do it from the comforts of my own king-size bed while I watch The Real Housewives. I'll just zap my underarm hairs. But it doesn't work.
No.
It does not. Well, I shouldn't say that. I didn't stick with the program.
You.
It was a lot of time. It was and the surface area was so small. It was a lot of zapping. And I just kind of gave up on that.
Is that like the no-no that they advertise on TV?
Sort of. And they said, you know,
I've been intrigued.
They said, you know, 4 easy installments of 99.9. I said, where can I give you? When can I get? How quickly can I give you my credit card?
Yeah.
I'm ready. Would you like expedited shipping so you can be free of your underarm hair quicker? Yes. Can you get it here tomorrow? And it's still at the top of my closet because I don't use it anymore. But I've done that. I did the Win Healthcare, the hair care. You know, that didn't work. But the Meaningful Beauty, I'm feeling meaningful.
Wow, that's cool.
I'm continuing on with that.
The NutriBullet, I said we're getting healthy. You know, and I did that. We don't use that hardly at all.
Is that the blender?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It works the same as my regular blender. Yeah. It's just 4 times the cost, and it looks fancy. Yeah. You just, you learn.
You know. Yeah, you do.
You can give it to Kristen. She'll sell it for
you.
Right.
Facebook. I'm the queen of selling. I can resell.
She loves to sell things. This is one thing I've made so much money on. I had so many friends that said, you need to get on that Chattanooga area mom's resale page. And Cleveland has one, and then there's a Chattanooga Ottawa. And so I was like, I don't have anything to sell. Well, people, I'm telling you, last summer I made $2,000 selling crap.
It's addictive, isn't it? Isn't it?
So don't attach your name to it then.
I know. I've got a new Facebook profile page where I sell my junk in case they come back complaining.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, but I sold everything, and I found myself, it almost got obsessive. I put my oldest in the back seat, and I gave him a list. We're meeting at the Publix parking lot at 3 p.m., and we're selling this hand blender. And I said, we're getting $20, and we're looking for a white Acura. And so we had 5 stops to make in an hour. I said, and Andrew I said, I'll give you $10 if you keep track of where we have to be at what time. Oh. And I would start talking to people like I normally do, and he would hang out the back window, and he said, we got 3 more stops. Come on, Mom. I said, okay, we got to move it.
I met you at one of those stops.
She met me at the Subway on East Brainerd.
That's right.
We made the exchange.
We did.
As I ate my foot-long sandwich. And then I don't even know if I had correct change. And you said that was okay. You'd give me the clothes hamper.
That's right. That's right.
Laura must be getting into it a little bit because her little Max, 5 years old, the other day was taking a bath, and he said, "Grandma, I want my whale book," or whatever, and a little plastic one of those books, and so he said and he was already in the tub, and I said, "Don't get out, just tell me where it is." And he said, "Well, it's under that cabinet right there," and so I go over there and I scour both cabinets and drawers and everything. I said, "It's just not there, Max." And he said, "Mom must have sold it."
Max is a hoarder, though. He is. But he would keep every little thing, everything. And he knows when things are missing, like a little paper boat he made with Bob like 2 years ago from a Curious George book. And he's like, "Where's that boat? Did you throw it away, Mom? Did you throw it away?"
You said, "No, I sold it. I have to pay." We have to pay for Botox one way or another.
Yeah, exactly. My $100 cream was expensive. Don't you want your mom to look 30 instead of 40?
What did we do with all of that stuff before these resale? I mean, we just have garage sales and sell them for a quarter?
But I make so much more money. And in fact,
gosh.
I have a friend of mine that just passed away, and her son's been living in India for the last 10 years. And so he came back, and I told him, I said, he inherited everything. He was an only child. And I said, I was just there on Saturday collecting stuff to sell. Because I said, don't sell it at a yard sale. You're not going to get a lot of money. No. But let me sell. I'm thinking, what do I have enough time to commit to? 5 items a week. So I was going around the attic, $20 for that. I think we could do $30 on this. I was like, because I think, for what he had, he was really surprised. And I think if you sold this at a yard sale, you'd get $2 or $3.
Right.
But on the resale page, and I'll meet these people. I've only had one kind of sketchy incident. Did you ever have anything sketchy happen when you met people?
I usually have a pretty good sense of people, luckily. And I've had a couple that I've just told them I'm not selling. I mean, I make an excuse that I'm not going to. But they have said that there has been people like
one girl tried to give me a check. Do you have people give you checks?
That would be me. Because I never carry cash.
But you're not supposed to bring. Well, I don't either. But for those things, I don't know.
That's true.
For someone you don't know to give you a check for something, I mean, you're never going to get that if they.
Would you believe I had a girl, and I really think the check would clear because I just thought, I don't know this girl, and I never even saw her face to face. I was selling 20 used sippy cups that my kids had teethed on, and there were 2 marks all over them. And I couldn't believe it. Somebody wanted them. They were hot after it. I mean, I had 10 people said they were in line. They wanted those sippy cups. And then I sold some used plastic plates. They wanted those. They wanted them bad. And so I had a girl from Ider, Alabama. So she was from Sand Mountain, and she said, I got to have them. So I said, well, she said, but I can't make it to town. Because, she's up there in the mountains or, up there on Sand Mountain. And I said, well, how will we meet? I mean, she couldn't even get to Hamilton Place. So she says, can you mail these things to me? And I said, sure. She says, I'll mail you the check in the mail. So I put them in that bag, and I thought, I'll never see a check. But you know what? Once she gets this stuff, she'll be hating it anyway. But would you believe she did? And she even added an additional $3 for shipping.
Oh, my goodness.
And it cleared.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I thought I better call and verify funds first because I'm gonna get charged back $10.
And how much were the cups? 2, and then she paid you 3 for shipping.
Well, it was a total of $23.
Oh, my goodness.
She paid $20 for used cups. Could you believe it? And I would have just tossed those out.
Yeah.
And that was cash laying right there.
Oh, my goodness.
What kills me is people will say, I want your $5 item. Can you meet me, Highway 58? Sure, I will. Let me haul up all my children
and spend $10 in gas.
Right.
I'll meet you over there.
Yeah. I'll meet you at the end of my driveway. How about that?
Or have you had anybody haggle with you? Like they've agreed, yes, I'll pay $200 for that item, and then they meet you to receive it, and then they say, "Will you take $175?"
Right.
Yeah.
No, because I had 3 in line after you, sister.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Get the rules straight.
One time, Bob and I worked at an estate sale for his aunt that passed away, and it was the funniest experience that I think I've ever had. We never laughed so hard. Every single thing in her house was gone, and our dog was with us, and he had she had chewed on a bunch of tennis balls that were sitting up behind this, like, the shelf behind where we were, wrapping everyone up. And these people, I mean, they were obsessed. This one lady insisted on buying these tennis balls. We're like, our dog has been chewing on these. I mean, they just bought everything out. We'd never seen anything like it. It's just crazy what people will buy. I mean, so I think your cups actually seem pretty good. There's some used.
I think about, I've got so many ideas for Facebook things I could do. I've got to get on this, creating a fake profile page. I've got to do this. I think I would love to get on there and just sell some used men's underwear with stains on the back and just see if anybody, but I can't attach my name to that,
No,
so
right.
I need a fake pro. I'll use your picture, Sharon.
I'm not on Facebook. So
girl.
Well, you can use some of Bob's cousins because they'd probably really sell it. So. Actually, they'll be buying it.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
I do see girls on there that sell bikinis and bathing suits, and I think, why would you buy that?
I've seen men's underwear on there.
Well, you know what?
Used
Why did
men's
I?
underwear? Oh.
Worn once or twice. Kevin's all about that.
That is so funny.
I bought him a pair of shoes off of there, and he wouldn't wear them. So, there's no way he's going to wear underwear off of the retail side.
And a friend of mine just about 5 months ago purchased some very expensive Tempur-Pedic mattresses, and they were the type that elevate, and they were $7,000. So he was asking me, he said, well, how much do you think I could sell them for? And I said, oh, I don't know. I'm thinking like $1,500. Maybe you'll be lucky.
If
and he
you
said,
know somebody.
He said, but I paid $7,000. And I said, but okay, look at it from your own perspective. Would you buy some used mattresses? And he said, heck no. And I said, all right then. You're not going to get a lot of return on your used mattresses.
No, absolutely.
I mean, because really, I don't know anybody that would buy them. Well, I do know one person, but she buys everything used. So I say that. No, it's not me. Well, I've got another topic for you, tattoos.
Ooh.
Who has one? Laura?
I don't have.
You don't have a nice tramp stamp on the bag.
No. I don't know if that should be on
That's
my
an
bucket
angel
list
kiss.
or not.
Well, ink is in. According to a survey, 3/4 of people between the ages of 18 and 40 have a tattoo, and nearly 60% of them are female. So guys, we're in the minority here. Industry experts say that as tats, that's what they call them, tats. You got your tat? Have become more popular, especially in the last several years. The stigmas associated with them have decreased. I would agree. These days, tattoos aren't just for rock stars and athletes. Lawyers, doctors, and parents have them too. And their reasons for getting inked vary as much as their backgrounds. While some folks get a tattoo to honor a loved one or significant life event, others use tattooing as a form of creative expression. So what do you think about that?
I think they're fine if you can't see them.
Yeah. I tell people that are thinking about one, I often say, you have to really consider your employment here. Places like Walt Disney World, they won't, if you've got a tattoo, it must be covered at all times. So if you've got one on your face or your neck, then you're going to be sweating in that 90 degree, or you're going to have to wear long sleeves in 95 degrees while you work down there. And I said that to somebody recently, and they said, well, I'm not planning on working at Disney. I said, you never know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And there are some offices, business offices and that aren't going to want to have that because of clients. I mean, even if they as an office aren't against it, they might have a client coming in that would, kind of go, oh, what kind of a place is this?
Well, I was at a restaurant recently, and our server
it
had
is
a
very
tongue ring.
stereotyped. Yeah, we haven't lost all of that, I don't think. The other thing I always wonder what's going to happen when they get my age.
Right. They need to think
And
about
older.
the effects
Yes.
of
And you
your
have all
skin
that
growing.
ink on you, and your skin
Yeah.
gets thin, and it gets
Somebody
hanging.
just told a story on Facebook about her kids. Some woman had one on her belly. And her kids are like, why do you have a whale on your belly? And it started out as a nice little goldfish. I know what my poor belly looks like.
So you have to think ahead
right
with your
Yeah.
tattoos.
Right.
What's it going to look like?
And then
when
the
I'm-
ink,
when I'm bigger?
to make them look nice, to keep them. I mean, you need to get them refreshed, right?
do?
I mean, like every 5-7 years.
The coloring.
I think the coloring to make, because then
Oh.
they get dingy looking and nasty. I don't know.
It's
Yeah,
true,
I'm not
and
so much into
I just often think, and maybe other people hold true to their ideas more so than me. I'm always changing. I mean, if you asked me 5 years ago, maybe I would have had a camera on my back because I decided I was going to have a photography business. Today, I'm teaching yoga, so I'd have Namaste maybe across my breasts.
Yeah.
And for a peace, I see the light in you, you see the light in me.
Yep.
And then next year it may be
Might
a
be
horse because
something.
I'm training horses. I mean, I just
Right.
changed too much.
Yeah.
Right.
Or today
I
it
do.
could be a radio.
Right,
Like I have a
that's
radio
That's right.
right there at my lower back so that when I lean forward, you see I'm
See the radio.
in tune with a whoop. And I just
Yeah, I
changed too
think
much.
you-
I know a
I agree.
certain guy who, when he was 16, wanted Yosemite Sam.
That would be my husband, and it was when he was in college. I always said I would not ever date a tobacco user or someone with tattoos.
Oh,
Did he get it? Did
Um,
he have?
Well, I did not see his back until our wedding night, of course. And so, because, we held out and waited. And so, because we're good like that,
You
right?
didn't swim together or?
Never, because we stayed covered at all times. And so when I saw that tattoo, I was like,
oh, he did.
Does he have Yosemite Sam? Seriously?
yes. Did you think I was joking
no,
about that?
Kevin wanted to get Yosemite Sam.
Well,
on
he can
his-
live through Andy. Andy
Well,
has
'cause
Yosemite Sam on his back.
I didn't know that.
It's
That's hilarious.
What's
awful.
the meaning of that? Why?
What year was that?
He
90?
got it in college, too much to drink, and a girlfriend encouraged him. And
Oh.
now I have to live with the repercussions of
Of
looking
that,
at it.
and every time you see it,
I
it's-
wake up to it
Did
every
you really
morning.
never know he had one until he got married? You had to know.
Laura. Laura. Of course I
How
knew.
does it look now? Does it still?
Well,
I mean,
know
is
if
it?
you're-
It's still
sometimes you look at
vibrant in
someone's
color. The guns show up quite well that when he's shooting. And his red beard is just as red as ever.
Sorry,
And
Andy.
and he said that I said, why Yosemite Sam? And he said, well, from the choices they gave us, that was the one I liked best.
Oh,
And
okay.
What
but
year was this?
This was whenever he was in college, and so he graduated high school in '89, so it was the early
That was-
'90s.
yeah,
And so
okay.
one day he was out in the driveway washing his Firebird, and had his shirt off, and his little brother, who was probably like 7 or so at the time, came out and saw him, and then he went running back in, and he said, "Mom, Andy has a tattoo on his back, and it's a cartoon character." So that was he'd been hiding it from the parents for a while, and that's how they found out. And so I really thought, okay, I don't see it that often, except every morning when I wake up. So what's the big deal? Well, the funny thing is with our kids, they get those temporary tattoos. And I'm not kidding you. They say, "Will you put it right here on my shoulder, like Daddy's?"
like
I say, "Nice, real nice."
That is hilarious.
Yeah, you'll have to tell Kevin. They're sort of like blood brothers. One wanted Yosemite Sam, one got it.
That's right. He can live through. Well, next time we see Andy, you just tell him
Yeah.
to be prepared to take his shirt
Take
off.
his shirt off and to see it.
We're gonna check out his tattoo.
Well, and he'll tell you, I did not even take my shirt off before the night we got married, so I can't right now. If you see me at the pool, though, you'll see it. And I say, "Do you regret it?" And he'll say, "Yeah, I mean, I don't even think about it. I forget it's there." And I'm always like, No, I don't.
I don't.
it all
You see
the
it every
time.
day. And
now
it's painful to get them off, I think. Isn't it? To take them off? Ooh.
And I heard it doesn't work that great. That it's not. You have to have a lot of treatment. But
What are you going to do when
I
your
thought
boys,
you were going to
when
say
your
a
four
lot
boys want one?
to
Well,
help you get through
I
it.
have, I have a
too.
plan
That
for
too.
when the kids want tattoos. I mean, I
What
said,
is it?
well, you know what? I exert my control wherever I can. And so I've just decided you will not have a motorcycle, nor will you have a tattoo if you are under our support.
Oh.
So if,
Yes.
I
and Andy
agree.
had some cousins who, their mom always said, I'm not paying for your college if you get a tattoo. So they knew they were on their own if they got one. And so his one cousin got one, I guess when she was like 28 or 29. She hid it from her mom for a long time. So she was, she's a professional. She's actually a college professor now at Clemson. And so her mom saw it. And then she said her mom got so angry, even though she was an adult and would speak to her for like 6 weeks.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. My mom wouldn't let me get my ears pierced. That's how far back we go. If God had intended you to have holes in your ears, he would have done that. And so it was like, so I was married and Laura was in I remember, in a little stroller, and we were in a mall, and I went in and got my ears pierced.
Oh.
Did your mom ever say anything about
No,
it?
she didn't. She never said anything. She was someone who, she was a wonderful person in many ways, but she never really, once I was an adult, she never really would get angry. She would pout.
Yeah.
So she just, she would kind of be quiet about it, but you knew that she didn't approve. It was kind of.
She was passive aggressive.
She was passive aggressive, yes.
Well, on another topic, what about your sleep? What's your sleep like these days? Lack of sleep doesn't just make you feel tired; it hurts too. Poor sleep may lead to widespread pain. What are you thinking about that? You think so? How much sleep do you all get? Chris is probably not getting any because she's got this baby due in 2.5 weeks. But really, I mean, yes.
So very comfortable. And it's hard. It's hard to function throughout the day, take care of 3 other little boys and a husband. And it's sad when your son goes to church, 6-year-old, and
so
says, Mommy, I prayed that you can move again. I said, thank you, son. I pray that I can move again too someday.
That's exactly right.
So it's tough.
What was your typical sleep pattern before you were pregnant?
I would go to bed anywhere between 11 and 12 and get up 7. So I would
Did
get
you sleep?
most. Yes,
Yeah.
I would sleep a good solid 7 to 9 hours, and I could still even nap some, depending. I know Laura can't. You can't nap, right?
I can't take
nap.
naps, but I have to have to feel good
So
the next
much.
day, I have to have 8 hours.
That's me.
And my kids need a lot of sleep, and I feel like it's so important because they get sick when they don't.
It is,
I mean,
yeah.
that's the number one thing, and this probably sounds really bad, but I mean, there's nights when my kids, should be taking a shower, and I'm like, you know what? We're skipping it right now because I
Right.
think that half an hour of
Right.
sleep is more important than
Totally
you're
is,
taking your
yes.
shower right now tonight. We'll take it tomorrow. So I just, to me, it's like the number one. It's one of the, I don't know.
I'm amazed because we're playing t-ball and we're getting into sports more with our boys. I said to Andy, I said, this is ridiculous. And granted, now it was just myself and my sister growing up, so we didn't really play sports or anything. And but they will schedule a practice for a 5 and 6-year-old baseball
Yes.
team at 7:30 on a
Yes.
Tuesday
Crazy.
night.
That's
and
what I
say,
said.
are these people ignorant?
Right.
Yeah.
Max's season's starting. He's in 5-6. He's still in preschool, and his games, all of his games are starting on Tuesday, Thursdays at 7:30. So that means by the time we're home, it's 9 and
That's crazy.
9:30, pretty much.
Yeah.
And when he goes to bed at 8. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then we
So
had a
it
ball
was-
game that was rescheduled for a Friday night. I said, what's the matter with those people? Do they not have a life?
Yeah.
I know.
Well, we got party plans.
Yeah. And especially because they seem to let you know late. It's not like here's the schedule and this is when
Well,
we're
now
going to be
this
playing.
is preseason.
Yeah,
They haven't known,
preseason
but
with
they
the
know
older
for their
kids.
regular season.
Yeah.
And my husband said, sis, get used to it. This is life. Because he played baseball all through school and through college. So he said, baseball is our life now.
I just find it's amazing to me that so many kids don't need sleep because mine really do. So I'm like, how do all these other kids function without sleep?
Well, I'd like the answer because my oldest does not sleep.
That's true.
And I cannot. I don't know what to do. I mean, I don't.
He won't go to sleep.
He will not go
a
to
hard
sleep.
time.
He is so, I think, creative that his mind goes a mile a minute
all the time.
because then he will come downstairs that next morning with ideas of books he wants to write, or and I'm like, really, at 11 o'clock? I can't. Mama's got to have her sleep. And I think he's a little bit, I was afraid. I remember being 10, 11, and I was afraid to go to sleep. My parents would go to sleep before me. Excuse me. So I would go into their room and sleep on their floor if they would go to bed before me. And he is afraid because he'll say, make sure you tell me that so I have to stay awake, because I understand it. I sympathize with them that he's afraid, but he'll be up there. But I've had to kind of get mean a little bit and say, this is, your room. Am I going to have to like strip everything? You can read and that's all you can do, because he gets very creative. He'll draw pictures, and I think that's just his body's trying to shut down, but his brain's going a mile a minute.
Does he wake up on his own, or
no? I mean, he'll get it. He's a late sleeper. He'll sleep late, so we have to wake him up for school. But I noticed that when he has better.
Oh, we've got a caller.
Oh, yay!
Good morning. You're on air. Who do we have?
Lisa?
Who is it?
Is this Lisa?
No, this isn't Lisa. This is Sissy Social Circle.
Okay, sorry, I'll have to call Lisa back.
Okay, bye.
Business.
Well, sometimes, because we are on such a low budget here, we often don't have screeners, and so I got a little excited that we had a caller, and I didn't realize it was the wrong number. So, Lisa, he'll be calling you in a little while.
Okay.
But awesome. As far as the sleep, okay, so what do you think? Now, I've got this coming up in about 2 or 3 weeks on a show, because this is something that intrigues me, the essential oils. Oh. What do you think you get into that, Krista, if you start using some lavender somewhere on him? I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
I've gotten into that since Christmas. I've bought the starter pack.
Are you doing now? Which one? doTERRA?
No, I'm doing Young Essentials.
That's what I want to do. I want to do the Young, because I've heard that was the first one, and doTERRA is a spinoff. Is that correct?
I don't know. There is like some competition there, and I'm not in it enough. As a matter of fact, I was going to have a class intro, and I thought, what am I thinking right at this point in my life? So I'm hoping that early summer to do it, have like a girls' night, and then
I'll be there.
Anybody interested could come.
Yeah.
I swear by it mostly.
And when I say this, Krista is a very well-educated person. Her husband is a medical doctor. He has his MD.
Correct.
So it's not crazy snake oil salesman here.
No.
And they're very practical.
And, if we had cancer, I wouldn't,
depend on your essential oils.
Exactly. But for these type of things, I've used different lavender products on him, but they haven't been the essential oils, which I need to try. That's a good point. I've been trying to keep sickness at bay. So they have had some bacterial things that I diffuse, because I have a diffuser, and I diffuse it all the time. And where you rub it on their feet or their back, there's like a raindrop method that I'd like to. You add them to oil, like a carrier oil. So I would. I'm learning about them, but I've had headaches, and so I thought, I'm going to try the peppermint. That's supposed to help. I promise you it gets rid of it. I promise.
Where do you put the peppermint?
If you can tell us. Yeah.
If you can't tell us.
And then do you lay down? Do you have to lay down and relax for it to work?
No. You just go, and because Cullen was sick, and I put peppermint on him, which with kids, note to self, you probably should put it in a carrier oil first, because it burnt his little skin. But it didn't leave a mark.
Mother of the year.
Right. Yeah, it's me. And he was like, "Oh, I don't want that candy cane stuff anymore, because it smells like candy cane." But it's great. I mean, I'm on my second bottle of Thieves, which is like an anti-bacterial viral. I've made my own like Vicks vapor rub with it. I've put in 2 or 3, I'm on my 3rd order. So I'm gonna have to get a job because they're not cheap. They're not cheap.
I mean, your husband has 2 jobs, so why can't he pick up a 3rd?
Right. Yeah, that's right. He doesn't need to sleep, right?
I mean, you've got essential oils to buy.
But you can sort of, get carried away with it. But I asked Kevin, I said, well, when we go to the hospital, I'd like to take my diffuser with me, and he kind of just looked at me.
said, "You're going to be one of those that the nurses talk about when they leave our room."
But my mom is being so kind to make me a blanket because I wanted to take a blanket, and Kevin said, "No, we don't want to take our own stuff. You bring staff home."
I was gonna say,
and I'm like, if I have my essential oils and my diffuser, there will be no staff. So,
Interesting. Hey, I just got a text from my husband, and he says, "FYI, I was sober." I mean, that's worse, right? And so he thinks it sounds better. It's worse. I was sober when I got the tattoo, and I was 18. Clarification. So, I mean, I wouldn't have even bothered with that. Let everybody think he was inebriated. So he made that decision of sound mind.
Yeah, right.
And of legal age. Oh, that's good. Sorry,
At
Andy.
legal age. I mean,
That's funny.
but anyways, getting back to the essential oils, I think it's very interesting, and I want to start trying it. And if you're someone that suffers from anxiety, which I think I've just come to terms with that. I think that I do. I really think I do, but I don't think I admitted it.
I don't know why you would.
I don't either. I get that nervous twitch all the time. And so something I bought, Laura and I went on a our book club went to the Grove Park Inn last month, and my mother-in-law says, "I've never heard of a book club going to Grove Park Inn." And I said, "This is a new day and time."
Right.
Yes.
That's right.
This is called Ladies Weekend, not Ladies Night. And so, anyway, so you go to the spa, and by the way, because I feel I should treat myself more often, Andy and I are going back this week.
Oh, fun.
wow.
I know it. I
That's
know it.
nice.
So after you go to the spa, they give you this great wrap thing. And so the company that makes it is Soulage. It's Soulage, and you can order them online, but it's a therapy solution. And so it's this wrap. They wrap it around your neck, and it's sort of like, people make these. You can buy them at the flea market, every time you're at the flea
Right.
market. And it has rice in it. I don't know, something
Yes.
else. And it's got some different herbs in it. And so it's really calming and soothing, and it's kind of heavy. So you can wrap it around your neck. But we have become obsessed with this thing. And I thought when I first bought it, I was splurging because it was $55. So I just bought one. And now Andy says, "You should buy one for everybody in the family."
Oh.
But he doesn't know it's $55. And so I said,
Now we
because
know.
I don't
Now we
want to know how
Ask
much
him
it
how
was.
much his tattoo was.
Yeah,
Probably a lot less.
Yeah, this is a value, just like
I think
my
you could
Trio
make
hair removal.
those. I think you could make and sell those.
I know.
Well,
Don't
someone
be,
in our neighborhood does make those.
oh, really?
Yeah,
Wonder what she sells them for.
not $55.
Is it the creative? Oh, it's the creative girl from book club that does all the creative
Cheryl.
stuff. Cheryl.
She makes them, and hers have like corn or something in them. It's a little bit
Yes.
different, but they're just as effective.
So I heat it, but if you put the herbs in it, so it smells really nice, the lavender and cinnamon or whatever, and so and you heat them in the microwave for 2 minutes. This is a friend of mine who's a pediatrician. She saw this. I had it on me when I was at my yoga weekend. Man, I'm sounding like I'm just gone all the time, don't I? And so I'm living. As Andy says, yeah, you're living the life of Riley. And so anyway, so I had this, and my friend who's a pediatrician, she says, I don't know if you guys know Tanya Cox in Chattanooga, but anyways, she said, "Oh, a lot of people use that in kids with anxiety, and it's a really good natural way to relieve anxiety." And the kids fight over this at night over who gets to have it in bed with them. And
For
so,
goodness sake.
So they just wear it around their neck.
or I put it across their abdomen, and it kind of warms them up. And we were having a talk one night, one of my children, and we had a deep discussion on doing your best in school because he hasn't been doing his best. So it was an emotional talk, and he was crying. And I just said, so I gave him this, and I said, now I'm going to sound Church of God, but I said, I gave it to him, and I said, I want to put this across your heart, and I want you to feel that in the warmth of it, and I want you to remember how much God loves you. And that this reminds you of God's love for you, and that you're special.
Right.
And only for 30 minutes, and then I'm taking it back to my bed. So don't get used to God's
I'm going to
love.
feel special. Then.
And so I love this, but this is, along with the essential oils, that it's really, I find it very calming.
Do you put an essential oil on that, or you just are using what's
Well,
in there?
no, it's just what it smells. I wonder how much longer
Okay.
the smells can be.
That's what I wondered.
Probably not much longer because the kids put it next to the bacon grease. Okay. So it kind of, if you smell this and it smells like bacon grease, and this
That's-
smells like a mystery.
But you could probably use that, with the essential oils. That would be great.
Yeah, I wonder. 'cause
And
I
Andy
have-
complains when I put it in the bed. He said, "What is that smell?" And I pretend like I don't know what he's talking about. And I say, "I don't know what you're talking about." He said, "You know what I'm talking about. Something smells heinous." And what is it? And I said, "It's me." And And it's the wrap, so I need to get a new one this weekend, right?
Yeah, for sure. I've used those, and it's wonderful. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and it's really sometimes the warmth of those kinds of things is just wonderful.
This would probably feel good on your belly.
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah,
Maybe
probably would.
can I borrow it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you. Well, do you have
this
grease on your
weekend.
belly?
Take it to
At
the
this
hospital.
point, I don't care. That's right.
Well,
May
speaking
take
of your pregnancy, of Krista, there are new guidelines, and this was actually something along the lines of this were on the front page of the Free Press within the last week about the new guidelines. Started out with the OBGYN Society, the group of ACOG, which is the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology. There are new guidelines aimed at reducing C-sections, and they urge doctors, you know what I'm talking about here, to give healthy pregnant women more time to deliver vaginally. Almost 1 in 3 women, U.S. women, gives birth via C-section, and the procedure can save lives, but it also comes with major health risks. What do you think?
Well, I have a personal story with that. So for some reason, I do not go into labor. My body does not, nothing happens, nothing.
Neither.
And so I was induced with my first, and after a horrible delivery, and my 9:15 baby came out of my body, I was in the ICU for 3 or 4 days later, and they're not sure why. Now, it might not have been due to being induced. It may have. Maybe he was too big. We don't know for sure. But we did an elected C-section the next time because I was not progressing, and I have big babies. So I have done C-sections, and I wish I could do another vaginal birth. I felt like I healed, even though I was sick, and it took me months to heal from my sickness, whatever it was that I ended up having. But I felt that it was a quicker healing time. But I'm just not willing to. I feel like at this point with VBACs and me having such big babies that I'm putting my life at risk. But yeah, and I saw also where they're saying now, before 39 weeks, which I never thought that they did them before 39 weeks. But
my first was scheduled at 38.
At 38.
And then after that, it was 39. And then once one kid was at 40 weeks. I say one kid. We can't remember which one.
Yeah,
I think it was at 38 weeks.
Did you have C-sections?
Oh, yeah. And from the very beginning, they were all scheduled. I have no regrets. And I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Right.
Even the first was a scheduled C-section.
Now, why did you do the first one that way?
Well, they kept thinking the baby would be big, and I said, I was having more anxiety. I needed my wrap.
You need a wrap. You didn't have that.
And they said, and I said, fine. I said, you know what? If the baby's going to be 7.5 pounds, I'm not doing that. I will not push anything like that out. And so I said, I need to have something happen here. And so he was real good, and he did find that I had a narrow pelvis.
Oh.
Whether or not that's true, I was thankful for the diagnosis.
No
and
guilt. So insurance would pay for it.
I was glad to be prepped for surgery and wheeled right in. I said, this is more controlled. I know what to expect, and I don't like surprises.
Did you have more anxiety? I have more anxiety this time than I have the previous two. I don't know if it's because I know what to expect. Like I know what's going on. I don't know. I'm more anxious this go round.
But at least you know this will be it. Or maybe
This
not.
is it. No, this is it.
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 Well, on that note, closing up with that, I did want to shift gears. So we're talking about kids, and there's a little bit of controversy going on that Laura wanted to mention. And I've seen this a lot on Facebook, and it has to do with the Chattanooga School for Liberal Arts. And, this is something that we probably, we experience here in Bradley County, too, with school systems. Right now, we do not have a magnet school. I wish that we did. It would be interesting. But Laura, can you tell us? She's got one over there at CSLA, and it took her 3 years to get in, or was it 2 years?
3 years. We were. I have one son who was at Westview, and he just recently got into CSLA. And we were on the list since kindergarten, thanks to Krista Henry, who told us about the list and got us to go over. And
she had to
get
race
into the
over.
school, race over, get in there, wait in line every day for a month downtown. Every night at the same time to try to get into the school. The previous year, people had camped out for a month at a time without leaving to get their kids into the school.
Were you there the year the man died on the motorcycle?
I was, yeah, trying to get to the line. There was a
dad.
The dad
So
that
sad.
died, yeah. They've since changed the procedure to get in, and now it's a lottery system, so people don't have to go and wait in lines and stay overnight. But CSLA is trying to get a new building that would be K through 12. Right now it's K through 8. And it's just right now we're trying to get the building. They're making the decision on Wednesday. And it looks at this point like there's 3 other schools that are going to be getting the funding before CSLA. And we're trying to change that in the next couple of days.
And it's been, I'm Laura's mom and Manny's grandson, a grandmother, and grandson. She's my grandson. And I am an educator. I recently retired. And from the beginning, when Laura moved here, I was very intrigued with the opportunity of going to a school that might approach teaching in a slightly different way. Because I do think that all children learn differently, and some children are just immensely successful in a regular education environment and school, and other children would benefit, which they sometimes try in a public education. They do. I'm from Minnesota. They do there too. But the structure is such that it's very hard to implement new ways of teaching. And so I was very excited by the fact that CSLA was available. I don't understand why for 25 years, even though it has been proven that it is successful in its graduation rates and going on to secondary school and all of those things, why this would be so difficult. And I have said I wish there weren't the controversy of, well, now you're saying that regular elementary isn't as good as, and that's not what it is. It's about choice. It's about if you have a child that you think might learn better in a slightly different environment, that you have an opportunity to do that. And then it's not set in stone any more than anything else is. I mean, if he's not successful, you put him back where you think he will be. But I do think it's about choice and not about one necessarily better than the other.
Well,
it's a different way of looking at it.
That they might need money as well, the other 3 schools, but this school has been promised a building for 25 years, and it's falling down. It has mold,
It is in rough shape.
It is terrible. Mold.
It has so many different things that are wrong with it. And so it's not that other people aren't deserving as well, but when a school's been promised something for 25 years and it's literally falling down, and it has such a good, it's won awards,
school.
It's done, different things like that. It deserves to have a new building.
I'm really surprised. And so what's their justification on going with the other schools ahead of them? Who are the other schools?
I'm not sure what it's 3 schools that they're looking at putting the funding to.
One is probably, I'm thinking Howard.
No. I would know
Brainerd High School?
No, they're all elementaries. I
think they are all elementaries. I think one theory, I guess, is that the election's coming up, and when you spread your money on 3 schools rather than just one, you're targeting a broader range of people.
Yeah,
that you're going to make a broader range of people happy.
And the thing with a magnet school like that, you cannot say that you're going towards the people that are higher earners. Right, because they get an eclectic mix, since it's a lottery
very
system,
diverse, yes.
Lots of diversity. So it's not just one subset of people that they're catering towards.
Right. And there's a long waiting list. I mean, there are people out there, that want to give their children an opportunity in this environment. And
this would open 800. It would add 800 students to the school, so it would be a K through 12 school rather than a K through 8, and it would give 800 more students the opportunity to experience this type of education if this is what they wanted to try.
Do you feel like Manny's done real well in it?
I feel like for him, this type of learning style has been better. He's happier. He's
really. Mm-hmm. What's the class size at a magnet school?
At this school, it's 20. It's 20 per class.
Is that comparable to Westview?
Yes. Yeah, it's a smaller school. There's 2 classes of 20, whereas at Westview there's 6. But it's not. If they expand the school, it will be bigger. So it will have the same. It'll be a bigger school. So I can't say it's just the smallness of it. I mean, it's the way they teach. It's a Paeta teaching method. It's just a different style of teaching, and for him, it's been successful so far. He's only been there a year.
And he's in a 3rd grade classroom, and there's 2 teachers, so there's 40 kids, but those teachers, it's collaborative, and I think they're collaborative, and it's built into the system. It's not that other elementaries don't try to be collaborative and put a good effort at it, and some are very successful. Some teachers don't like that. But in this school, when you're hired, my understanding is, you kind of said, okay, I'm committed to this collaboration style, both with the administrators, the students, the interaction of the students, the interaction of the teachers with the students. So I think that it's just a different approach, and I think that in general, everyone's entitled to an approach that they think their child will be successful in. I don't think it's a lot different than choosing to, if you can afford it, going to a private school. You're doing that because you think that environment might be better for your child. And I just think there needs to be diversity in styles of education so we can meet all learners and benefit everybody.
Isn't it funny how things have changed? Just like when I was in school, there was one way. But things too, like there were two classes, 2 teachers for each grade level. So when you're in 3rd grade, you were either going to get Miss Green or you were going to get Miss White. And those were the 2 teachers' names, really. And then when I was in 2nd grade, there weren't enough students. So we had a split class. My teacher, Miss Scott, half the classroom was in 2nd grade and half the class was in 3rd grade. So she would teach us math and then she would go over there. So it was interesting. Yeah. But and so now when you're in school, there's often, 6 first grade classes or
right.
Was it that way when you were in school where there were 2 teachers for each grade level?
Yes.
Well, not when I was, because that was a long time ago. We had K through 6, and it was 1 teacher, and you were there all day long.
Wow.
Except for probably, we did have a cursive writing teacher. Isn't that interesting? And that's almost to the, antiquated now. But we had a specific teacher that came in for about 20 minutes a day to teach us cursive. But it's very different, and there's all kinds of ways of teaching. And I just wish we were all respectful of differences, so that we wouldn't feel threatened by them or fearful of them, but just say, let's trust this and see where it goes.
Variety is the spice of life.
Yeah.
So embrace your tat friends.
Yeah. Right. And husbands.
Hug a friend. Hug a
Find a new way to learn.
Yes.
That's right.
And
Yes.
and with that said, I want to leave you with a wonderful quote I heard last week in my yoga class, because I'm all yogaed out, And so it was a wonderful quote, and it was, as we close the show, sometimes you have to leave the city of comfort and enter into the wilderness of intuition. Now, there's you some thought for the day, folks.
It is.
So with that said, let me tell you what we've got coming up on next future shows. First of all, I'd like to thank my guests in studio. I'm so glad. I'm impressed that they showed up at 9:20. I was like sort of thinking it was going to be a one-man show again, and then you'd be bored to tears hearing my life stories and my moans and groans of my life. And so I'm so thankful. Thanks for coming and being on time.
Thank you.
We also have Andrew Newland in the studio. He's in the back. You can't quite see him, but he's been taking notes. He's a fantastic photographer. Tell me the name of your photography again. New. How do we spell that? N-E-W-T-O-G R-A-P-H-Y. And he does a lot of landscape photography, and he's incredible. So he's been taking notes in the studio. Coming up on the show next week, we have Kathy Thagard and Carol Hoops, who are with the Style Exchange. They're raising money for a no-kill animal shelter. And if you've got clothes and things that you want to get rid of, purses, great shoes, or maybe some small limited amount of household items. They do this every year, raise an incredible amount of money, and it's a 70-30 split, I believe. 70% you keep, 30% goes straight to charity for those animal no-kill animal shelters.
Nice.
Wow. And then we'll have later on in the month in April, we'll have Foundation House Ministries. They have a house they're opening up. She'll be coming back on. And my friend Hillary Libby will be coming on in the month of April. She's going to come on and talk about essential oils.
Oh.
So that's a topic you'll want to hear. So
Yes.
you could always call in and let me know. You think she's a snake oil salesman, or you think she's you think she's the real deal, the legit, So it's up to you. So with that said, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you all have a wonderful week.